when you're feeling down and like your world's moving slow, just remember your race. It moves at your pace when marching towards your goals. And brighter than the stars. Don't take impossible. Nothing is impossible. You're brighter than the stars. An angel, 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 soaring like an eagle, eagle, eagle. Nothing is impossible. Don't take impossible. You're brighter than the stars.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am excited to have two special people. I call them Black royalty right here in the DMV DC area on Talking with 3D. My name is Derek Darrell Dixon, and I am your host. And of course, we're right here on Plush Work TV. Listen, before I start my interview, let me tell you just a little bit about what's going on with Plush Work TV. We have so many exciting shows and things that are coming up. So please make sure that you follow Plush Work TV on Instagram, on Facebook. Also, you can go to www.plushworktv.com. So please make sure, once again, Plush Work TV, because we are going to be doing so many exciting things coming up, and we want you to be a part of it. So again, I am Derek Darrell Dixon with Talking with 3D, and I have Dr. Lavelle Long and Lisa RENEE Marshall is here with me today, and we are going to be talking about DC Black Broadway, how it got started, how it is going today, and everything that is going on. So before I even do a proper introduction, Dr. Lavelle and Lisa, how are y'all both doing today, this evening?
Doing great.
Fabulous.
Doing great.
Yeah.
Well, I am so excited. Let me tell you, when you meet people, and it's just something that knowing that you're around people that are like-minded, that have so many inspirations in life that inspire you to continue to do your craft and do what you do. Dr. Lavelle has such a marvelous story that everybody needs to hear, that I think that this needs to be a biography on television. This story needs to be told. It needs to be more than just theater. And I know it's going to come, and I'm excited for him to be able to go out and tell his story and tell it his way, because that's a lot of times we want to give over our stories to someone else, and therefore it's told a different way, but we need to tell our own stories. So I'm excited to see where he's going to be going and what he's going to be doing. Let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Lavelle. He is a prolific storyteller. He's a playwright, producer, a founder of DC Black Broadway, a premier theater production company in the Washington, D.C. area. He's a visionary. He's also a man that believes unquestionable that there is power of second chances. And we're going to get into that and make you understand what that means. A voice for people who have been counted out but continue to rise. He has been incarcerated for 6 years, but his life has been changed. The chapter, and he's into his new chapter. He's a trailblazer. He started his first debut production, 2018, called The Giz, G-I-Z, The Giz, played off The Wiz. It's a colorful go-go flavored rendition of The Wiz. Made history as the first stage play to grace the stage at the National Harbor's MGM Grand Casino Theater. Also, Dr. Lavelle has had tremendous type of accolades and awards: the Titans Awards, the Play Magazine Awards, the Social Media East Coast Awards, the Music and Movie Awards, the Go-Go Awards. That is Dr. Lavelle. Also, I have Miss Lisa RENEE Marshall with me, a native Washingtonian. Washingtonian, is that how you want to say it? Washingtonian?
Yes. Washingtonian, yes.
Washingtonian.
Yeah.
And she has been in entertainment since she's been the age of 7, an actor, a dancer, a singer, and a director. Also performed in theater, television, and film. She starred as the Wicked Witch of Wardolph in DC musical The Giz, produced by DC Black Broadway, and has a recurring role in the television series Double Cross. Also plays the nurse Rachel. She loves black and white movies. She has also produced or directed the stage director for the DC Black Broadway and for Golden Girls. And I love these titles that the movies have, based on the beloved 80s television show that starred which starred an all-black cast. Lisa is a professional and a veteran, and she was born to do this. So, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Lavelle and Lisa are here with me today. Thank you guys so much for coming on board and just sitting here and being able to talk to you both. I feel like I'm going to be learning so much from you, and those that are watching, that they can learn so much from your story and be motivated. So Dr. Lavelle, let's just get right into it. Let's just start where, being incarcerated for 6 years and how that changed your life around. How did you say, I'm going to open up and be the CEO of the DC Black Broadway? Where did that start and where did that come from? Where was the motivation?
It wasn't really no motivation. I met a young guy, and which was my cellmate, was Salahuddin Mahid, and he was writing books, and he had started a buzz around the prison yard with his books. So he was a Washingtonian, and we was in a 3,000 inmate camp in Georgia State Pen, and it was only 2 DC dudes in there. So naturally gravitated to each other and had each other back. So he asked me to read his book one day, and I probably got like 2 pages, and I was like, I can't read this. And he was like, what? I was like, I can't read this. Like, I lived through this, and I don't want to read about something that, brings me back and give me trauma.
Right.
So I asked him, I said, hey, what do you think about, writing something for family? We need more positive Black men to write stuff for families. Like, and he was like, man, I don't write for families. And I was like, well, that's what you may think about. And then that night, once I laid down at the count time, voice, I usually talk to God a lot, and he sounds like me. And he said, I need you to do a stage play. And me and God went back, and I said, I'm not doing a stage play. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never done a stage play. I can't even think about doing a stage play. Why do you keep telling me to do a stage play? I'm not doing a stage play. And so I thought it was over with him by that time. So the next morning I woke up and went in the room and started watching TV. And the first thing I turned on, it was The Wizard of Oz. And there go God again saying, this it. And I was, can I do a go-go version of the Wizard of Oz? And God said, yes, you can. And so I was like, no, I can't. And then I called Anwan Glover, known as Big G from the Backyard Band. I had a cell phone in prison. And so I called Genghis, which is my brother, and I said, hey, what do you think about doing a go-go musical? And he was like, yeah, Slim, what you got on your mind? And I was like, what do you think about doing the go-go version of Wizard of Oz? And he was like, stop playing. Bro, that's my favorite joint. And I was like, what do you think about it? He was like, that's a hit, I'm telling you. Bro, who told you that? And I told him, I said, God been putting on me to do it. And from there, it was history. That was the first time it came to me. And so I tell people I knew I couldn't fail because it was God's assignment.
Right.
Nobody put it on me but him.
Now, when you created or when you thought about that, because what's so ironic is that The Wiz was the very first musical that I saw. And that's where I had the love for theater. I knew that this is what I wanted to do when I saw Stephanie Mills in The Wiz. And I thought, wow, this is where I want to be. I want to be right there on that stage. Right. When you were writing that story, did you envision where it would go? Did you envision of where to even start? How did you tell yourself that, okay, I know you made a phone call, this is what you were going to do? How did you know that at this point you were going to be able to take off with this?
Because I started studying people that was doing theater in DC, and I had a phone, so I would go to the internet, and that's the only time I would get on social media. I wasn't a fan of social media, so I would get on there, and I'd pick up theater, look at people that was doing theater, and I decided a guy that I saw that I wanted to mimic him. So before I came home, I gave him a call, and I was asking him, like I said, hey, I don't know if you know me, but I'm Lavelle. And at that time, I was using my street name. I was like, my name Boogaloo. And I was like, and I looked at his friends list on social media, and I say, man, you can call this person about me, you can call this person about me, and I'll be an asset to your company, right? And I told him my vision. Of course, he blew me off. And so the next couple of years, I came home, and, you know, just like a returner said, I came home and I didn't know really what I was going to do. And I went back to studying, and then I started feeling sorry for myself. And then my wife one day got him and said, I don't want to hear nothing else about that go-go musical because you need to be doing it. And I made the phone call to the guy, and I worked for him for free. I mean, I went to get chicken, set up sets, moved furniture around, and just watched. He allowed me to watch him, and I worked for him just to watch. And then once I started getting confidence, and I have already had connections as far as relationships in the city, and he was struggling to sell tickets. And I told him, I said, well, I can get Trey Chaney for you. I can get Anwan Glover, Big G. I can get Tracy Braxton. And he was like, man, I can't afford that. And I was like, you don't have to pay for it. I said, they would probably do it for me for a little or nothing.
Right.
And of course, he blowed me off again. And then what I did was I brought Trey Chaney and Big G into his rehearsal. And that's when he started believing. And he sold out his first show. And from there, he kind of knew that I could sell tickets, and I knew people. And he brought me forward. And I just started watching. And I was so interested in theater. See, mine was it was Stranger in My House when I knew that I was supposed to be on that stage.
Wow.
So I was like, I can do this. Like, I see, you know, in the first play that I helped him with, I wasn't even interested in it. I was like, this play is garbage.
Right.
And I kept on saying, I can do it better. But he kept on blowing me off. I say, and I read the script. I was telling him, I say, I wouldn't write this script like that. I would do this, I would do that, and I would do that. But of course, he wasn't listening to me.
Right.
Then once I showed him the gig script, he was like, that's next. He's like, that's it. And from there, like I said, God assignment, it just took off. I started running my mouth, and I went to the MGM and had to explain to them my vision. And because they didn't know in Vegas, because the MG here in Maryland didn't give me the go. They told me no here in Maryland. So I didn't stop there. I called Vegas.
Gotcha.
And then I had to explain to them what go-go means to DC. Right. And I gave the term. I said, if Bob Marley did the Wizard of Oz in Jamaica, what would happen? And he was like, it'll be crazy. I said, that's the meaning of doing it in go-go here in the Washington, D.C. area. And they gave me my shot.
Miss Lisa, knowing Dr. Lavelle's story, what made you believe in Dr. Lavelle and said, this is a man that has a vision. This is a man that is going places. What made you believe in Dr. Lavelle? And I think that's important for people to know, because, you know, we always want to judge. And we always think of the backstory, and we never see what's to come. So what made you say, you know what, I believe in this man, and I want to move forward with him? I may be putting you on the spot, but
it's okay. It's okay. You know what? Honestly, have the conversation. Have the conversation. You can't judge a book by its cover. Lavelle is a very genuine person, And you can tell a person's spirit just by having the conversation. I knew that he was genuine and he was a man of his word. And the proof is in the pudding. If someone has ulterior motives, it's going to come out eventually. You know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, you can kind of sense when something just isn't right. And with Lavelle, it's always been 100 from the day I met him, you know, and I really admire him because writing is something that he tapped into late in life. He didn't know that he was a writer, but he really is a beautiful writer. And it's almost like he doubted himself at first because it wasn't like a lifelong dream. Like, you know, I don't remember not performing. And I knew at a very young age what I wanted to do. This isn't something that he saw for himself, but once he tapped into it, he made it happen.
Wow.
And that really should be his nickname, Mr. Make It Happen, because he's going to make it happen. Oh yeah, absolutely. Because he's going to make it happen. If it's something that he wants to do, he will make it happen, period. And he's all about bringing on people that are like-minded, that he sees potential in. Even if you don't see potential in yourself, he has an eye for people. You know, he has a knack for spotting potential. Even with me, he gave me a shot at being a director after I had been in, I've done countless productions, right? Always on the acting side of it. And in hindsight, I can honestly say that I have directed in some form or fashion, but it wasn't something that I actually saw for myself, but he saw it. He saw it. He put me in this position that I'm eternally grateful for.
Yes.
You know, and I absolutely love it. And I was just like, what made you think that I could do this? And he was like, because I know that you can. I've been watching you for a while.
Wow.
You know, and that's really a testament to, you never know who's watching.
Yes.
Do your best, be professional, because you just never know who's watching and who can take you to that next level.
That's right. Lisa, when, you know, you said that you started at the age of 7. And when did you know that you had that passion and that love to be in theater, to be in television? Where did you find your niche?
Well, the first musical I saw was Shirley Temple movie, On the Good Ship, Lollipop. That was like my introduction. I was about 7 and I said, I want to do that. I can do what she's doing. And my parents, they put me in tap. They put me in tap dancing classes, modern jazz classes. And then at some point I was in drama, but entertaining is like music and dance is woven into my family. Gotcha. You know, back with my uncles, my dad had a doo-wop group. They got signed and in the 60s. So, you know, it was just like, it's always been there. And so me and my brothers and my sister, we used to put on skits in our house and in the basement and making our own commercials.
Yes.
You know,
I can relate. We was out on the back patio and charging our family a nickel to make them come and watch us dance and sing.
Yep. And that's pretty much what it's been my entire life. You know, we've just always been in front of the camera. And I just think it's always been a natural progression for me to eventually direct.
Yes. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm here with Dr. Lavelle and with Lisa Marshall, and we are talking about DC Black Broadway, and we're going to take a quick break, but we're going to come back and just tell you a little bit more about how that got started and how you can be a part of it. But right now, I want you to just sit back and watch just a quick little TikTok. If you don't follow me on TikTok, you got to make sure that you do it. Follow me, Derek Dixon 66 on TikTok. Make sure that you follow me. But we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Talking with 3D. This is Real Talk for Real People.
I know you love me, baby, but you never tell me so. If you don't tell me you love me, I'm gonna pack my rags and go. Jukebox band. All night long they play the blues. Every
ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again. You are watching Talking with 3D. I am here with Dr. Lavelle and with Lisa Marshall. We are talking about DC Black Broadway. If you haven't heard of DC Black Broadway, I don't know where y'all been, because DC Black Broadway is doing so many things out there, employing so many actors that are giving them the opportunity and the exposure to act and sing and just get out there, and that people are aware of what you do in your craft. And I want to talk about that, Dr. Lavelle. DC Black Broadway, you are the CEO of the company. What made you want to start DC Black Broadway? What was it that you wanted to bring more of us brown Black people into the theater and give us the exposure? And first off, I have to say thank you for doing that, because there's not a lot out there. A lot of people want to run to Atlanta to do that. And we have so much talent right here in the DMV area. So tell me about DC Black Broadway.
So what initially started thought of DC Black Broadway is when I'm looking at other playwrights and producers and their directors, I have pet peeve about individual sport, like individual. And usually when you see like Tyler Perry production, Jakari's Johnson, like I've always been a team player, and my life has been a dope dealer in the streets. And my mother teaching me about family and I've always been taught how to be a fighter and stick with your people. I've never been an individual sport person, right? And all the success I have had on the bad side and the good side, I always had a team. So it was irritating to me to be able to, that person, one name stick out when it's so many people that brings it together. Mm-hmm. And by me coming in and watching a production, I just think to myself that one person putting his name on it and saying, this is such and such my production, that's not good in my soul, because it takes so many people to put on a play. It's really hard. And so that was the first thing I knew once I got in charge and he let me out the contract that I signed with him, that I wanted to do a team. I wanted to do a team name. And then I got kind of disappointed. I went to the Lincoln Theater to book a show there. And the lady at the Lincoln Theater told me that we will fail.
Wow.
And she was trying to help me save the money, because the Lincoln Theater costs like $23,000 a show. And she said, I need you to look at our calendar. And when I looked on the calendar, it was all white shows.
Wow.
And so I was like, that's motivation. Yeah. So I was like, we standing on Black Broadway. Like, this is Black Broadway. This quarter is Black Broadway.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? We're going to do this play at the Lincoln. We're going to sell it out. And we're going to call ourselves DC Black Broadway. And the funny thing about the lady that was running it, the thing that really, really irked me, she said, well, I'm going to give you guys 2 bartenders. And I said, that's going to be a mistake. Mm-hmm. You're going to need about 6 to 8 bartenders. And honestly, she kept it there. So I came up there one day, lunchtime, and I saw this line of Black people buying tickets. And the ticket guy was like, this is for you. And at that point, the ticket guy said, I have not seen this in years. And from there, I started screaming like, man, I'm DC Black Broadway. And then the guy that I was working for, it was named his company, and I just stayed on him. I was like, man, we got to change the DC Black Broadway. It's too many. I started putting pressure on him. I was like, I don't want to be under your name. Like, why can't be a team?
Right.
And eventually put pressure on them, and the name was changed. And when people heard the name, they gravitated to it. They was like, and then people that's professional in business, they was like, well, they're putting you in a hole because you saying DC Black Broadway and you want to take this to the world. And I stood on it. I was like, well, LA is proud of their city and they all over. Where Atlanta is
That's
proud
right.
of Atlanta. Why couldn't we be proud of DC? I don't get it. And from there, we sold out the Lincoln Theater like 2 shows, and it was all history. I just took on the swag of DC Black Broadway, the area, and I was like, we're gonna represent. And it just fit. It just fit. It was just felt good. You know that do that and it feel good to you.
Right.
You got to go with it. You can't overthink it.
That's right. You got to go with it. And as Lisa said, that you see things in people that they probably don't even see themselves.
Right.
Do you find your talent? I know that you do have open auditions, but when you see somebody performing, how do you know that, you know what, that's the person, this is the person for this play, or this is the person for this? What do you see in people?
Because I write, right? And then I sit and start, I create every day. Like I see things around me that I think is interesting, and I see people that I think is interesting. So I kind of knew that's my niche because of me being a drug dealer, right? I can tell a person if they was a police. I can tell that you was really from the streets. I can tell if you couldn't pay me. I could tell if you was gonna call the police on me. I knew if you were genuine. I knew if you were gonna be someone that can love me or someone that can rob me. Like it was just my instincts. And all my life I've been around dope people. Like I knew within 5 minutes if somebody was dope and they was creative. I just didn't know I was creative. So coming to theater, and I got a funny story about Lisa, right? So Lisa came on late as in the Gears, which wasn't my fault, it was somebody else's fault, my partner. And she played the Wicked Witch. And she said, well, I'm not doing this scene for this amount of money. And me and him talking, I was like, she's doing that scene for that amount of money. We're not giving her no more money. What makes you think that she can do this and do that? And the funny thing is, she took the money that we gave her. And I stood on stage and she played the Wicked Witch of Waldorf, right? Was it the Wicked Witch of Waldorf, Lisa?
Yeah, the Wicked Witch of Waldorf. Yeah, and I got the script like 2 weeks before showtime.
Right.
I was like, okay, I want me to learn this that fast? Okay.
So when she did it, when she came out of stage, I was at all. I was like, well, just like when I saw you, Mr. Dix, I was like, she is super talented. And I knew right then and there she was going to be my director. The guy that I had the company with, he was a director. I had already knew because he didn't direct her. She had just got the script 2 weeks ago. So he didn't direct her. She took on the character by herself. And right then and there, that day, I knew I was going to get rid of him. And I knew I was with him, but he was like my safety net because I didn't know nobody. And I had to hold on to him because I don't know how to direct. But when I saw her, I knew. I said, that is my director. I'm going to get rid of him. That's my director. And so the next day, I took money out of my pocket and she asked for a fee. And we did not give her the fee that she asked for. And I went back and gave her the money. I said, you deserve all of this. Yes. Like you are truly talented. And I gave her money quick because I was like, man, I'm working with her again. I need her.
Oh, that's right. See.
Don't make me cry. I didn't come on here to cry, Lavelle.
Yeah.
But say too about Lavelle though, as far as recognizing and seeing people and being a great judge of character, I've learned to trust him because when he follows his gut, he wins. And so, because obviously, we have a dynamic team. We have a great team of people that all work together to make something happen. You know what I mean? We have amazing producers, amazing marketing team, and an exceptional assistant director and great actors, right? So it's a team effort. But of course, when you have a team like that, you have disagreements.
Right.
We have disagreements, we have arguments. It's just like, no, but I think we should do this. Well, I think we should do that. It happens.
Because the fact that, so many people don't trust. We get together and we don't want to trust in each other. We don't want to believe in each other. So therefore, we have our own motives. And when you have a team that works together and knows that, yes, you don't have to always agree. It's great to disagree, because then you get to know the person. You get to know who you're working with and their work ethics. So, you know, it works. It works.
It does. And at the end of the day, you end up coming to a resolve, you know, that is the big picture is what's best for the production, what's best for the team. But like I said before, I've learned to trust Lavelle because he has a great judge of character. And whenever he follows his gut, he wins. So it's just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to trust what you say. I'm going to trust you this time.
Right. And I'm going to tell you that you, as your production company, makes everyone that walks through to do auditions or whatever to make them feel like winners. Y'all do. When I came into audition, and I found out about the auditions at the last minute, but I said, I'm going to go. And as soon as I walked in that room, y'all made me feel like a winner. You made me feel like I was somebody. And that's an incredible feeling to walk into and to leave with. Because
I'm going to tell you a secret. Your name was already in the room. When I saw Man Monster, I kept on telling my wife, oh, nah, we can't let him get away. We need him. Man Monster, I had started watching Man Monster, and I told the playwright that I was watching the play, and you took me away from watching the play to watching you and your antics at your body language. And I'm over there cracking up. Say, I don't want nobody to know. I'm like, he is crazy, man. Look at him. And I'm telling my wife, look, he's the one. We got to get him. And we already knew who you were. So even me sitting back and seeing you walk in the room, that's all I wanted to see you do. Like even with Lisa, I knew what I wanted from Lisa. Only thing she had to do was want it, right? And when you put these, I look at myself, I call her coach, but I look at myself as like a GM. And my job is just to put the right pieces together, right? And then I got my coach, which is Lisa, that knows how to translate my thoughts.
Yes.
Right? And then I'm going to say, ask yourself, when you put people that's creative together, and this is what we don't do as Black people. Instead of us trying to do everything our own, put the best together for one company. We don't have to fight over little old DMV. We put the best together, and we put 4 CEOs together, 4 actors together, 4 creators together, directors together, and we say we're going to take over the world, not DC. We can do it. So that's what we do is, and I tell people, if we work together, we can win big. Why try to separate talent? You know, and it's like when you walked in, we already knew who you were. We already knew that you made it. I had already had an idea what I wanted you to play, but then I did switch it because once I saw your audition and your range, I was like, nah, his name gonna be Mr. Clean. He going you're going the play that I'm jumping ahead, but the play that I have vision is called Boogaloo's Juke Joint. Okay. And you're my narrator. You're the narrator, you're the bartender. And I've already visioned that once I saw your audition. I said, he is Mr. Clean.
Wow.
Yeah, he did. He said that. You said it that day.
Wow. Wow.
And my mind don't go back on it. It won't go nowhere because I'm stuck with that. Yeah. Even like with Lisa, I already knew Lisa can act, she can direct, and I'm pushing her I want you to do everything. I want you to direct and act, and you're saying you can do what anybody else can do because I've saw you in your artistry. You can do whatever you want to do, and I see the same thing in you.
Wow.
And my mission is to put the best 15 actors together and then go on that Tyler Perry run.
I know
Because
that's right.
once you get that chemistry and you get everybody that know their job, it's going to be magic every time.
Yes.
And
Yes.
see what I like about Lisa, and Lisa will put it on me, but Lisa is a person that I could tell her a vision and show her something, and she'll say, nah, Lavelle, do it this way.
Yeah.
I tweak that. So I'm a person that loves to create, but I like people around me to be creators. And I saw that with the play. And I'm gonna throw somewhere. I'm gonna tell you how much I watched. The little boy at the play stayed on the stage when he supposed to left with his mama.
Right.
And you went into action like, get your butt off here, because you know you're supposed to leave with your mother. And I think the audience thought that was written into the script, but I knew that you was directing on stage right then.
Yes.
I say he's directing right now. He knows the whole script, so he knows what's supposed to happen. So those things like that is like, whoa. Yeah.
Hey.
And so
Look,
I saw that.
Dr. Lavelle done turned some things around even on me. He about to put some tears in my eyes. Lisa, let me ask you, Lisa, being a director, creative director, and working with DC Black Broadway, tell me what I want you to talk to the audience, to talk to actors, because we have a lot of actors out there and that tell themselves, oh, I don't know how to play the crackhead. Oh, I don't know how to play somebody that's cheated on somebody. They never can put themselves in a role because of the fact that they've never done that. But you're an actor. So what do you tell an actor when they limit themselves and say, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do a nude scene. You limit yourself. I know that we have to research and know what we're doing.
That's what I was going to say.
Talk to us and tell us about.
You have to do your research, even if it's interviewing. Some people are method actors. They take on the whole persona of who it is they have to portray. You may not have had those experiences. You've never tried crack. You've never been a crackhead. But guess what? You've seen a crackhead. If you've never seen one, you need to look for one, or you need to go on YouTube, or you need to Google it, or you need to see other actors that have played crackheads so that you can get the overall persona of that character, right? And then you can interview people. If I need to play a doctor, I need to interview a doctor. I need to interview a football coach. If I may play a female football coach one day in a movie, I need to interview real football coaches so that I can know the lingo, so that I can know what it feels like to coach your team and to give them hype, to get them hype over the game, and to how to call plays, and what it feels like to be defeated if you lose, like all of those aspects of being a human being, they're human experiences. Right. So you have to interview people. You have to do your research. You may have to go as far as hanging out at a old folks home and, seeing how nurses handle old folks. If that's, you may have to play that character one day. Halle Berry, she went so far for Jungle Fever to not bathe for 3 days because she wanted to feel like a strung out homeless crackhead.
Right.
You know what I mean? She went that far.
Yeah.
She went that far. For School Days, Spike Lee had the jigaboos, as they call themselves, staying in one hotel, and the light-skinned chicks staying in another hotel, because he wanted to create that tension in real life so that it can translate on screen. So he had them staying in 2 different hotels. They never ate together. They didn't do anything together. So you just have to do the work. Right. Acting is work. And you also have to stay in classes. Like no one has arrived. Okay. Correct. I don't care how much work you've done, you can always still learn more. So still get into acting classes, still do improv, still try your hand at method acting. You can take a class on that. The Meisner technique. So you always have to stay on top of your craft, because you just never know when that moment will come. Success is preparation meeting opportunity. So you have to stay on your craft. That's what I was
Yes. And you said something that's so very important, is that to take the classes. Take the classes. You have not arrived. And even when you
No.
think that you have arrived, there's so much more that's beyond that. So we always have to study this craft. You can go on YouTube now and take classes. There's a lot of things virtual that you can take and learn craft. If this is what you want to do, if this is your passion, then you have to wake up to it. You have to go to sleep to it. My middle son, he said he wanted to be a filmmaker. And I'm like, and I will be the proudest father of you. But you have to do the studying, learn about different type of movies, learn about the angles and everything. But you have to learn the craft. And a lot of times, you know, we see actors, a lot of people see me as the comedic actor, but then when they see the serious side of me, and you know, you have to be able to be versatile as well.
Right.
And not be afraid to show that side of you. So I'm glad that there's so many nuggets that you put in there that are so important. Listen, we're going to take one more quick break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about grease with a side of mamba sauce, and then also talk about a couple of the awards that Dr. Lavelle has also received. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you're watching Talking with 3D. This is Real Talk for Real People. We'll be right back.
I talk about I got a reputation, Steve. I used to be a hoe. I ain't no hoe no more. I ain't been no hoe in a long time, Steve. A long time. I'm trying to change.
You were a hoe.
Back in the days.
How long haven't you been a hoe for?
For a little minute. For a little minute.
How long?
About a year.
A year. It's good.
Yeah, that's real good.
You were promiscuous and now you're not.
Yeah. Whatever that means.
And ladies and gentlemen, once again, I am here with Dr. Lavelle, and also I have Lisa Renee Marshall that is here with us from DC Black Broadway. He is the CEO. Lisa is the director, stage director for DC Black Broadway. And again, if you don't know about DC Black Broadway, you have to make sure that you look them up, www.dcblackbroadway.com. Make sure that you can go on there and get all the information about auditions and plays that are out there. Again, it's www.dcblackbroadway.com. Please make sure that you look up, because this is for us, Black and brown people. This is for us. And you don't have to run to LA. You don't have to run to Atlanta. If that's what you want to do, more power to you. Congratulations. But it's right here. So support the Black arts, support DC, support the DMV, because there are so many talented people right here in the DMV area. Listen, I know that you all have a play that's going on, Grease with a side of mamba sauce. Let's talk about that, because I love there's so many plays. The Golden Girls is GIRLZ. The Giz. There's so many plays that you have out there that you put the spin on it. You put the twist on it. So tell us a little bit more about Grease with a side of mamba sauce.
Okay, so how Grease with a side of mamba sauce started was I listened to my fan base, and I listened to women. You know, my business is 93% of women, Black women. So they wanted to see Grease, or they wanted to see Brewster Place. And Brewster Place is already a Black story. And I definitely know that I can make it fun, because my aunts and my grandmothers and girlfriends and all type of stuff was in that movie. But when I started looking at Grease, I had started doing my homework. Like Lisa said, I started studying and looking into Grease. And I watched I watched at least about 70, 80 hours of Grease. And I really started getting upset again because I didn't see a Black version. I saw Boys to Men. I saw Boys and Men and a couple of Black people that was in Grease, but it wasn't a Black version. And honestly, all the versions I saw of Grease was boring. And so they go again. I was like, I don't want to come out and say go musical. So what's did a DC that I could come out with that explain what I'm about to do to Grease? And then it was like, if I'm not going to use go, it has to be mumbo sauce. And say, I called Lisa, I said, what do you think about Grease with a side of mumbo sauce? And she was like, that's it.
Lisa, tell us more about when Grease with the Mumble Sauce. Where is it playing right now, and where can we see it? The
Sure,
dates.
it's going to be at Bethesda Blues and Jazz Supper Club. August 26th, 27th, and 28th is the first run. And then the second run is September 24th and 25th, I believe. Yeah, that weekend in September. So yeah, so you have a chance to see it. It's 5 shows altogether. But if you can't make the August, you can definitely come in September. You can go to bbjlive.com to get your tickets. Or you can just go to BethesdaBluesJazz.com. Either one will take you to the website to get your tickets. And it's going to be great. When I first heard the title, I thought, it's brilliant. I thought it was brilliant. You know, the original Grease is set in the 50s and they have drag racing and what have you. This is DC.
Right.
Right? So Lavelle said, I want to have it set in the 80s. I was like, brilliant, because that was the onset of, you know, the early 80s was like the onset of go-go. It was the onset of hip hop. It was when our culture was just doing the doggone thing with the way we dressed, our music, everything. You know, we took so much pride in our dress. So all of that together is just makes for a beautiful production, because it pays homage to our culture in the 80s. Right. And you know, even down to like the Madness hats and the K-Swiss and the Coca-Cola shirts and the tennis skirts, and you know how we used to dress and how we used to do it up. And then, you know, that's when go-go just really took off and people fell in love with it. So, and then Mambo Sauce is a DC staple. So it's just really an ode to the culture, and it's something that hasn't been done. So I'm really looking forward to people seeing it. And then it's a dope script.
So if ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want more information about DC Black Broadway up and coming plays and things that are going on, please again go to www.dcblackbroadway.com. Listen, we got about 30 seconds for each of you. Dr. Lavelle, tell everybody where we can find you on social media, and give us one of your most inspirational quotes that you have.
You can find me as Dr. Lavelle on Instagram and Facebook. As Dr. Lavelle on both platforms. Most inspirational, I could say, to my city. Like we are our own enemies here in this city. So I would say this: please don't disrespect the locals.
Don't disrespect the locals. I know that's right. I'm about to call you Dr. Lisa, but that might be something might be coming in there. Lisa, tell everyone where we can find you as well.
Okay, sure. On Instagram, you can find me at Lisa Renee Acts, LisaReneeActs. Facebook, just Lisa Renee. And that's pretty much it.
So, and Lisa, give us something to encourage our audience.
It's never too late to pursue your dreams. All you have to do is start.
It's never too late. That's one of our biggest problems with people, is they think that I'm a certain age or I never did this, and it's never too late.
Never too late. Never too late.
Never too late. It's the most powerful thing that you can tell somebody. It's never too late. If they only just take it and believe and do what your passion and what your purpose is in life. So I appreciate both of you coming on. And again, we need so much more time, but I want to invite you back again to talk some more about up and coming plays that you're going to be doing. And just people, when they want to audition, I want to ask you this real quick: when you have open auditions, can they find that information also on the website?
Yes, the website and all our social media platforms.
And all social media platforms. So if you want to be a part of DC Black Broadway, listen, if you want to come and work on the production team, they need people to sweep the floors when the play is over and pack things up and put the costumes away and put out food and be part of craft services and things like that. I don't know if they need it, but you never know. You gotta go on there and see what they need, because you just never know when it's your moment. It's never too late. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to Talking with 3D. Dr. Lavelle, Lisa, thank you so much. I wish you all the best. I'm looking so forward to working with y'all and being a part of DC Black Broadway. Have a good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Always remember that this is real talk for real people.
Thank you.
Let me hear you guys sing. Breathe in my ear, ba, 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 ba. So you walked over to me. Breathe in my ear. Let's go back. Too much. Breathe in my ear. You're on top of the vocal, Taquita. I'm not giving you this. Breathe in my ear. It's just like the way it's sung. No, too much neck, honey. 6, 7, 8. Oh, you just want me to get started. Again for Taquita. You're touching my body. Oh. No, let's go back. What time is it?
When you're feeling down and like your world's moving slow, just remember your race. It moves at your pace when marching towards your goals.